Hello everyone of class 12 students. Now see everyone, I'm going to discuss today inverse trigonometric functions. Before starting inverse trigonometric function, let us just have a look back on functions. Already I have discussed about inverse functions. If f is a function from a to b, then g should be a function from b to a. If it happens the domain of the first function is the codomain of the range of the second function, and range of the first function becomes the domain of the second function. If it happens, then you can write and then g is equal to f inverse, means g is said to be inverse of f. It is the definition. Here in this case, if this happens, function f is 1 1 and on 2 also, and gof of x is equal to x and fog y is equal to y. This case is satisfied here. Two conditions are satisfied. First condition, f is 1 1 and on 2, and second case, gof x is equal to identity function of x, that is x, and fog y f of gy, that is function of f of gy is equal to y, identity function on y. So these two conditions we can take as the function is invertible, then we say g is inverse of f. So whenever we are talking about inverse trigonometric function, before that we should know what is trigonometric functions. So if you have studied in class 11, you must be knowing about what is trigonometric functions. Trigonometric functions are also known as circular functions. So let us see the domain. I am just taking one example. All of you have heard about f is a function from domain of sine function is R, and its range is -1 to 1. If you are knowing from trigonometric functions, so domain is set of real numbers, and range or codomain is set of all real numbers lying between -1 and 1, given by f of x is equal to sine x. So this is the definition of function as sine x. Whenever we are talking about sine function of x, it means its domain is R, set of real numbers, and its codomain or range is set of all real numbers lying between this interval -1 and 1, including -1 and 1. So this is all about trigonometric functions or circular functions. So sine function of x. Let us find the inverse of it. So this is sine function. How will you find its inverse? It is sine function of x. Sine function of x. Now let us see how will you find the inverse. So as I have explained here, domain should be codomain and codomain should be domain. So I can write g should be a function. So f should be a function. Let us take f again as a function. So here f is a function from this domain -1 to 1 should be here, and here should be R, given by this f of x should not be written as f of x now, it should be written as f inverse of x. Now you will ask why f inverse of x? Because same function we cannot define. So here we can write f inverse. In place of f, I have written here f inverse from set -1 to 1 as a closed interval to set of real numbers R. So f inverse of x is equal to sine inverse x. This should be your definition. So how will you define it now? Now there is a question. Here we can take any real values. Can we take here all the real values? Yes, we can take. But in this way, our job will be tough to find all the real numbers. So here in the concept of this inverse, it is also known as arc sine function of x, or it is also known as inverse trigonometric function of x. Arc sine function of x, or it is also known as inverse trigonometric function of x. Now we will restrict this codomain or range. We will restrict this range to define inverse trigonometric function in a better way. So if we restrict this range of sine inverse function of x from r to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now see, I have restricted the range from real set of real numbers to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Means other intervals are also the subsets of this set of real numbers. I am taking from them one of the subset, suitable subset, as the range of this inverse function. So now I will rewrite its range. F inverse. So now I will write directly sine inverse. So sine inverse function is a function from minus 1 to 1 to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. See everyone. Now sine inverse function is an inverse trigonometric function as sine inverse trigonometric function of x in terms of sine. So you can say inverse trigonometric sine function of x, or we can say arc sine function of x. So this is arc sine function of x or sine inverse function of x, whose domain is minus 1 to 1 closed interval, and closed interval this side minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now see, in this way we are having all 6 inverse trigonometric functions in this format. So in the same way we can write for cos, we can write for tan, we can write for cot, we can write for sec, we can write for cosec. So this restricted range is known as principal value branch. What is the name of this restricted branch? It is known as principal value branch. I hope everyone got what is the meaning of principal value branch. Principal value branch means the restricted range of inverse function on which the graphs of the functions is easily, we can understand, we can easily get the values coincide with the domain, then it is known as principal value branch. So can we define rest all inverse trigonometric functions? We are having 6 trigonometric functions, so we will have 6 standard inverse trigonometric functions also. After sine, I can write it for, it is given in the NCERT book also before the exercise 2.1. Cos inverse we can write in this way. Cos inverse is a function from minus 1 to 0 to pi as a closed interval. Then third one, for tan inverse, we can write it as from r to excluding minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Means here values cannot be equal to minus pi by 2 or pi by 2. It should lie between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. So this is all about sine inverse, cos inverse and tan inverse. We can write the rest for other inverse trigonometric function also. I will send you for other inverse trigonometric function. I will send you as a WhatsApp all these 6 functions. Okay. I have written and the same and rest I will send you through WhatsApp about all these rest 3. Okay everyone? So let us see what is the relation between this inverse trigonometric function of sine and sine function. Let us see. You will be shocked to know that the graph of this sine inverse function of x is just the mirror image of the sine function of x. I'm just showing you through graph. Just a minute, I'm just drawing the figure. Now we can see here the graph of sine function and inverse sine function. See, it is fx is equal to sine x, and it is f inverse of x is equal to sine inverse x. So this is the sine inverse functions graph and it is sine functions graph. Let us check. If putting x equal to 0, sine will be 0. X is equal to pi by 2. We know if x is equal to pi by 2, sine will be sine pi by 2, that is 1. So this is plotting the point. Here sine pi, x is equal to pi. X is equal to pi, then y is equal to sine pi is 0. So we can put 0. So pi 0, pi by 2 1, 0 0. This side sine minus pi by 2 is minus 1. So minus pi by 2 minus 1, this is the point. Now here it is minus pi, so sine minus pi is 0. So again minus pi comma 0 is my point. So taking x as the value of angles this pi by 2 and pi, and y as the real number value as minus 1 and 1. So we can plot the points and we can join the dots to make this graph. See, this is the graph of sine function of x within minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We can extend it. We can extend it to unlimited intervals because we know we are having domain of sine as set of real numbers. So we can extend it to any limit. It is not restricted to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 or minus pi to pi or minus 2 pi to 2 pi. It can be extended in both sides. Okay everyone, because we know set of real numbers, this is the subset only. Now I have just restricted it to minus pi to pi to make you understand. Now see the same in this side. Now I have taken values of x on y-axis. See this, I have taken these values on x-axis and the same on this x-axis. Minus 1 and 1 I have taken because I am taking here the inverse. So if it is f of x is y, here it will be x is f inverse y, that is g inverse y. So now leaving these values, if y is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. If y is equal to minus 1, see everyone, if y is equal to, I am taking pi by 2, it is x is equal to 1. If y is equal to minus pi by 2, x is equal to 1. If y is equal to pi, x is equal to 0. If y is equal to minus pi, x is equal to 0. Now again taking the same as the plotted points, we can join the dots and we can get the graph. You see, we can see under line y is equal to x, if I am drawing line y is equal to x, see this. This is line y is equal to x. Here also I am drawing line y is equal to x. So this is line y is equal to x. So we can easily understand, you can see under line y is equal to x, this is just the mirror image of it. See this, it is just the mirror image. You can see this portion is this side and this portion in this side. So we can see the mirror image is repeated. So in this way we can understand the sine inverse of x is just the mirror image of sine function of x. So everyone can go through this. Now I have given you the principal value branch of 3 different functions including sine inverse, cos inverse, tan inverse, and rest all inverse I have given you already through WhatsApp. So you can go through it. Now if question will be asked based upon finding principal value of this trigonometric function. So we are restricted to the concepts. So if question is asked, you see, if question is asked, find principal value. Here is the question. Find principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by 3, minus 1 by root 3. Now see, we have to find the principal value of cot inverse 1 by root 3. Now see, we have to understand the principal value branch of cot inverse. So principal value branch of cot inverse is 0 to pi. We have to remember. As we know, cot inverse function, its domain is from R to 0 to pi as an open interval. So R to open interval as 0 to pi. So we can easily understand its principal value branch is 0 to pi. Now its value should come in such a way that we should get the value in between 0 to pi. But this negative value will give us negative value. So we have to make it positive by changing it. So let us consider, let y is equal to cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. Now see, using this I will change it as, I can write it from basic definition of inverse. I have given you, if g y is equal to f inverse y. So using this concept, if cot inverse y is equal to cot inverse minus 1 by root 3, then we can easily write cot y is equal to minus 1 by root 3. Now let us see when cot will be negative. Now come to trigonometric function. When cot theta will be negative. So let us see, cot theta will be negative in which quadrant? See, this is first quadrant, all positive. Second quadrant, sine cosec positive. Third quadrant, tan cot positive. Fourth quadrant, tan cot negative. So in this and in this is the possibility that cot theta will be negative. So our benefit is between this second quadrant. So I will think about the second quadrant because it will come in this range also. So I will change it in this way, cot. Now see, for what value we are having 1 by root 3? In cot theta, tan 30 is 1 by root 3, tan 30. So cot 30 will be 1 by root 3. See everyone, sorry. For tan pi by 3, what we are having? For tan pi by 3, we are having root 3. So cot pi by 3 will be 1 by root 3. So pi by 3 will work here. So I can write it minus cot pi by 3. Now see, let us change it. Cot y is equal to cot pi minus pi by 3. Let us check why it will be pi minus pi by 3. In second quadrant, if you want to consider, it should be within pi. If I will make it pi plus pi by 3, it will come into third quadrant. And in that quadrant, tan and cot are positive. So that's why I have taken pi minus pi by 3. Now, we know from that concept of trigonometric functions, I have, if you know this, I am giving you this idea. If even or odd multiple of 90 degrees is there, then if it is even multiple, if it is even number, then even natural number, then we will have this function as it is same. And if it is odd number, odd natural number, then we will have function changed. Now here we are having pi, means 2 into pi by 2, that is even. So function remains the same. And after that, cot pi by 3 I have written. Now it is pi minus pi by 3 belongs to second quadrant. And second quadrant is negative, that's why it is negative. So it satisfies my condition. I have applied class 11 level concept here also. Now it is cot pi minus pi by 3 is cot 2 pi by 3. Now you can easily see cot y is equal to cot 2 pi by 3. Now since this cot y is equal to 2 pi by 3 is related to the restricted range, that is principal value branch 0 to pi. So that's why we can write y is equal to 2 pi by 3. Reason? Since it belongs to open interval 0 to pi according to the principal value branch. So we can write y is cot inverse. Cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 is equal to 2 pi by 3. That is principal value of this function. So in this way we can easily find the principal value of a given inverse trigonometric function. First of all, we have to change it into simplest trigonometric function. Then according to this concept which you are already knowing from class 11 level concept, we have to change it, and we have to keep it in our mind that it should come according to this condition. So here cot y is equal to cot alpha, then y is equal to 2 pi by 3, and this is the result. So just stop it.